indicated by the clerk. Point of order, David Seymour.
Mr Speaker, I seek your guidance and clarification around a previous ruling by Speaker Wilson, number 1884, which says that when a question is asked of a member, there can be one or perhaps two supplementary questions on that primary. Yesterday, in your position, the Deputy Speaker appeared to rule that from now on there would be only one supplementary question and it must be asked by the same member as asked the primary. Now, I think this is important for the House because if his ruling was to be taken as the way forward, it means that members, as we saw yesterday, can put on an endless number of questions to members that have no possibility of being hijacked by a hostile supplementary and effectively put on a dog and pony show for political purposes and, frankly, waste the House's time.
I appreciate the. I will hear from Richard Prosser.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Notwithstanding the validity of that point of order, Mr Speaker, 1881 says that no member has an absolute right to be given the call to ask a supplementary question.
That's right. And I appreciate that both members are focused on page 188 of Speaker's rulings. I will give further consideration to the matter. It is actually a question that I raised in a review of standing orders at a select committee today because I think there's little value in a line of questioning such as we had yesterday with members just using it simply to promote a members' bill. It is a matter for further discussion at standing orders, but in the meantime, I think the member David Seymour makes a reasonable point about what is the value of such a line of questions and patsy answers, frankly, that were given at the House yesterday. I'll give it further consideration. Question, no. I present the report of the Controller and Auditor General entitled